Alright, so let's start by seeing new stuff. Let's build this right here. Yeah, so I got a lot of stuff done, and like as I said last week, I was moving a lot of stuff around and trying to make code more organized and like easier to work with. So I think I got everything working now. I just have to. I broke a couple of like the networking things. Mm-hmm. So like multiplayer doesn't really work right now. So I'm just going through and fixing all the networking stuff so that way all the stuff syncs across all the clients and server. But let's.
Okay, so we jump testing spot.
I actually deleted the old arena template that we made just because I'm gonna
the one that had the big circle with all the walls?
Yeah, the big circle one. We're gonna be remaking that pretty soon, probably this week actually. Okay. See what we got. Oh no, that's not good. Okay. So, like I said, I got everything working again. Now, holster your weapon. Fix that over there. Switch between. And then, I've also implemented the inventory. Up here. So how it basically works is, okay, I want to replace this weapon right here, my primary weapon. You scroll down and find the weapon you want to replace it with. Let's do this one. And click and equip. We're going to do it and switch it. So that's that. And now, another thing that I've implemented is like pistols. So yeah. That's neat. Yeah. It's kind of cool because like pistols are a lot faster. And here's like. And I went through and like implemented all like the weapons that I was showing the meshes for last week. Mm-hmm. So and I went through and implemented most of like the weapon attributes. So if you notice, like there's recoil on this gun. Mm-hmm. So as I'm aiming it, like kicks up. Stop firing, it slowly drops back down to where you were.
Can we control that? Or?
So different guns have different like rate of recoil. Mm-hmm. But so like it kicks up and then I can correct it and like move it back to it.
That sort of takes an effort.
Yeah. So it's basically guns that are like shoot super fast and like it's basically it's kind of inverse for the more damage the gun does, we try to get like a higher recoil.
Makes sense.
Just because you don't want to be able to like hit the person in the head really fast, like twice in a row. So the first one will probably hit, and the next one will go up over it, and then they can bring it back down. So I was like playing a bunch of like first-person shooters to see how they did recoil, and they basically did the exact same way. It kicks up, and then gets to a certain rate where it'll like level off, and then as you stop firing, it drops back down to where you were before. So that's kind of how Crisis does it. That's how Halo does it. So I thought it's good enough for us. Also, I implemented, it's called Motility, the attribute, which is basically like the speed of which you do like weapon handling. And so that works on like most of the weapon handling stuff. So like if you notice on this weapon when I reload, it's a little bit slower. But if I come to like the pistol and then I reload, it's quite a bit faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And So I just have to now implement motility to the weapon swapping. Just because there's some inverse dependencies that kind of I just had to figure out how I wanted to handle them. But yeah, then basically everything that kind of like switching the weapon, reloading, doing that kind of stuff will this motility attribute will affect it.
I think we need to adjust the gun a little bit on the guy.
Yeah, they're all kind of. I don't worry too much about it.
Oh no, that's something that comes later.
Yeah, because I even noticed like Dead Space, their hands are all messed up too on their weapons.
Make it look good enough that people won't really care. Like I've never really noticed to pay attention to that, but I probably will next time I play it.
Yeah. Well, because I noticed it too. Like my hand sometimes it's kind of like not completely on it. So it's just like curious with what's it called, Dead Space. And so I started like doing some like different like aiming angles, and the hand starts like flying all over the place. And it's not.
Oh well, Dragon Age 2. I mean, the weapon looks like it's floating behind the person.
Yeah.
So clearly they weren't really all that concerned about that. Because I mean, I noticed that in like 5 seconds of playing, so it's not something that they could have just noticed.
Yeah. It's hard because the more customization you give like the character, the harder it is to get everything to look nice.
I can understand that. I mean, after all, you can be a guy or a girl, and then there's like so many different weapons to use.
Yeah, because then you got to make sure you don't want some of the weapons to clip. I mean, there's like ways to handle it, but yeah, it's a lot more work. And basically, games. I've noticed that games have like a lot of like customization options, like Skyrim, for example. They have the same problems. A lot of the things like floating, and then there's a lot of clipping, just because there's a lot of things to take into account. So yeah, I mean, this was pretty exciting. Like, you just have weapons implemented, but
yeah, that was pretty nice.
Come through and like I got probably 95% of the weapons we talked about are done. So like
a couple of them look pretty similar though. So.
Well, yeah. So.
Oh, are they made it the same way now? You just
the icon, the picture, is the same yet. Because what we'll have to do in the future is go through and then like take a picture of each of the weapons, and then cut out the background so it's like a PNG. So once we and I kind of want to wait on that until like we do some more testing and everyone's like settled, like yeah, these look relatively good, like their colors and everything, before we go making the thumbnails. But yeah, so there's like a bunch of different weapons, like a rocket launcher. You can see here, like it's a lot slower to reload.
So rocket launcher, 26 rounds.
Yeah. So basically, I think we talked about this last week. There's a stat called capacity.
Yeah.
And your total is you get 13 clips for the whole match. So yeah, it's pretty good, but like you can only shoot twice and then you have to reload. So the problem we are facing now is, you'll probably see it here. I'm gonna go to the next stage. So it goes back to the weapons that we have by default. And so to fix this, we need to pretty much like set up persistence, which will be kind of like a pain in the butt. We can do like a lazy form of persistence at first, where we just like write the character information to like a local file. And then upon like loading the character, we read in the attributes from this local file. But as soon as we want to like seriously start doing like multiplayer, we'll have to write the character information to a database in a secure site, so that people can't just unlock all the weapons for themselves and then do a bunch of crazy things.
So that's the other creating like reference pointers and stuff that we're gonna have.
Yeah, so let's see. Have you taken 240 yet?
No.
You'll learn a lot about this in 240. Basically, you can serialize objects, which is basically like condense it down to like bits, and then you just write it to a file, and it's basically a text file. And then when you well, you could write it to text file. Most people write to like tables. So then you'll have like character table, and then you'll have a weapons table, and then they reference things. But then basically, when you load in stuff, you just like deserialize them and like read them from an external file. You'll learn a lot about that in 240 and 340. But
We're going to take 240 in the spring, but they just kind of drop you and say, okay, project due in 2 days. I know none of you had studied Java before, but good luck with that.
yeah, that's a tough class to take in the spring because it's a lot of work and you have half the amount of time.
Now I'm trying to study a little bit of Java right now before Java, but I haven't studied that much. But
Yeah,
right now I'm still better off than I was in the spring.
seriously. So I don't know if we showed last time, but like I've implemented all of the different firing modes. So this one's a burst fire rifle, so you can see like they'll shoot 3 pretty quick in succession.
And then it changes quite a bit, so it's not always the same.
Yeah, so they just kind of. So I mean, a lot of these values like we'll have to play with, like accuracy, weapon fire, like damage. And so that's why I'm thinking hopefully next week we'll be able to do like a playtest. Try to get like 6 or 8 guys together. And so just like make like a quick map, get everything working. And then we have to get this weapon swap working so that everyone can kind of equip different weapons and then just play around with them, and we'll start to see like, okay, that weapon is like way too strong, like needs to be nerfed a little bit. So yeah, so there's burst fire, and I think I showed you the shotgun. Just fire a bunch of them. And the other one is like a semi-automatic weapon, which just fires from a shot at a time.
Seems more accurate than the shotgun in Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, so the shotgun actually does benefit from like aiming. So aiming like increases your accuracy, and by that it's like reduces spread by like 1/2. And so the shotgun actually does benefit from aiming. So if I don't aim and I shotgun, like it's a pretty big spread. If I aim, you'll see it's still pretty bad, but
Yeah, we gotta get closer.
yeah. I mean, yeah, this thing will destroy if you get close. So yeah, so next week I want to try to have all the networking stuff working, so then we can do a play test and try to start to balance some of these weapons and make sure everything.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I'll send out an email probably early, like maybe Monday or Tuesday, trying to see who's interested, and then try to find a time where everyone can log in and play. Maybe like Saturday around this time.
That should be available.
Yeah. And I think Corey will be available that time too, so yeah, we'll see. And so I think, let me look at my phone, I kind of wrote down all the stuff I did. Let's see if there's emailing information. Okay, so, yeah, this is pretty cool. And this is another thing, which you get going to your playtest. I've added overhead names. So then you can see right here, this player's chest laptop, some number. So when we're playing in a real online game, this will be your Steam username. So, next week when we do a playtest, the whole team system won't be 100% implemented, but we can kind of just say, hey, like, Jeff, Todd, and Corey are on a team, and you'll be able to see, like, who I am and who everyone else is. So you can kind of, you still play around with it that way.
Trying to kill as many Germans as I can. Dude, we are the Germans. You see the episode of The Office?
When they're playing, like, it's like Call of Duty.
And the guy sleeps at it.
Yeah, that episode is like one of my favorite. That was so funny.
It was one of the few of them I've seen, but yeah, it was hysterical.
And Jim is like so bad at it. And like Andy's like freaking out.
What are you using? Oh my gosh, you're killing me, man.
So yeah, so for this upcoming week, we will. I will try to implement like scopes for sniper rifles. All like networking business, so everything kind of replicates across the servers and everything. And and then a form of player persistence. So if I can't figure persistence out by Saturday, I might just add like a locker inside of like the arena map.
Just to test it out?
Yeah, so then like everyone can go switch their weapons at any time during the match.
So the way to do it is camp out near the launcher and people switch in.
Yep. So yeah, we could that would be worst case scenario. But I can't imagine it being super hard, but I hadn't done yet. So those three things, let me write those down so that I remember to do them. So add, scoping, zooming. Yeah, without that, the sniper rifles would be kind of lame. They don't do that great. And then all the server replication, and then a form of player persistence. Can you think of anything else that might be needed?
Got the weapons, the camera, the multiplayer issue, and the gun issue. I guess another thing will be the test to see how well like the connection is, like if there's a lot of lagging and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that will be, I think that will mainly depend on the guy hosting the match. So this will be a good like stress test as well to see like, is a match this size feasible? Because I've done playtests with like me and two other people on my home computer and it was fine, like no problem. But I can show you this. It might be interesting to somebody. Default game, I think it is. No. Okay, yeah. So this is basically, you can see right here. So we're using our online platform service is going to be Steam. And then right here, this is called like a polling interval, which basically tells the clients how often should they like check back with the server to like update their game. So like keep things in sync. So they'll do that like every 20 milliseconds. So I think that is, how many milliseconds are in a second?
Is that 60?
Is that what it is? This may be faster than. Let's see. Okay, so there are.
Yeah, I think it's just all 60s.
And 1 second is 1,000 milliseconds.
Oh. I didn't know that.
So that means.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. 1,000.
Let's see. And so yeah, so then that means this will be pulling, I think I set it up to pull at around 50 to 60 times per second. Let's just double check right quick. Yeah, so this pulls 50 times a second. And so that'll basically mean the host's internet connection will probably be most important.
Mm-hmm.
But then also everyone else's internet connection, because they'll have to go and communicate with the...
One thing we'll probably want to try too is if the host for some reason leaves the game, we'll probably want to set a way to make someone else the host. Or
Yeah, so that will be, we'll focus that on the fall when we are doing it as a class, because yeah, we'll definitely need to do that, but that's a little more complicated.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah. I mean, we did a little bit with it in 340, but...
No, I just remember like for a while when I played like Warcraft 3 online, a lot of times if the host left, the entire game would just end.
Yeah, and that's basically how it happens here. Like, if I leave, you go back to the home page, or the host leaves, you go back to the home page.
Yeah.
But we'll have to do something if like the host leaves, shows like a screen, so it's like searching for a new host, pick someone, and have everyone like redo it. We'll probably have to set up like a server. I mean, I think we're gonna have to set up a server anyways. But yeah, in the fall we're probably gonna focus on like setting up a database, and so that way you can like store your account information up there. And we'll do matchmaking, like game persistence. So if like the host leaves or the host connection is like poor, it'll like find a better host, do that sort of thing, and yeah. A lot of the more complicated stuff we'll probably do during the fall, since it's going to be technically a class and it should be difficult. And I'll have more people helping me. So yeah, this will be good. A good like just stress test to see like if we can handle games of this size. So I think we're talking about having like the biggest game be like 6 versus 6. 12.
That sounds fine.
Yeah, 12. I mean, I know like Halo, all the Halo games were local hosted, so they didn't have like a server anywhere. There's only a few times where I ever noticed it was an issue.
And I remember one time, the first Halo, ran into a room that had like 16 people, and it was this really small area, so I mean, you throw a grenade, you're pretty much guaranteed to hit someone no matter what.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Probably went there, games are pretty insane.
That's funny. So that's that, and so I'll have to make a level for the playtest on Saturday, because this one is just too small. Yeah, this would be madness in here. Yeah, I think that's all the new stuff I've added. Huh?
Plenty that you got it.
Yeah, I've been working on this thing like a crazy person. But like, I have a lot of fun doing this. I don't even like notice. I can sit all night and be like, oh shoot, it's 4 in the morning. That's pretty fun. So yeah, we'll add those things in for next week, and then as far as if we go back, here maybe.
How did you get rid of that sound?
No.
It's just really quiet.
Yeah, I think the sound's coming through my laptop, and I have my sound set to like 5 right now. As far as like this inventory goes, so these are like the weapon slots. These are the available ones, and over here, eventually I'll implement like the weapon stats, so you can see them. I'm thinking of making this middle column right here like kind of like 2 rows, so it'd be like a grid. So it'd be 2 by X or whatever.
Now, do you plan to make it so that people can use like the carry 2 assault rifles, or will there be like a weight issue? Or?
I think you can have any weapon you want. Let's do test. I haven't actually really tested it that much, but let me try to equip 2 rocket launchers. Where is it? Here it is. So it looks like you can equip 2 of the same weapon. There is a stat called like mobility that we'll implement, and so like heavier weapons, lighter weapons will have a higher mobility, and mobility will affect other things. We're still kind of talking about all the things it should affect. So carrying 2 rocket launchers, you could have like a strategy for it, but you'll be like slow, and you could be problems with it. Maybe if your strategy is just like I'm gonna sit in the back and just like lob explosives, and it might be valid, but if someone gets up close to you, you probably won't be able to defend yourself very well.
That's a good thing for rocket launcher.
So you can equip all like this big stuff you want, but there would be some. Because right now, like, switching.
That would actually be faster than reloading, though. Yeah, that would get you 4 shots off real quick.
Let me see. I think I found a bug.
It's automatically reloading every time you
you automatically reload. Yeah. So, like, again, like, this, like, the weight thing will affect, like, the swapping speed.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to fix that bug of automatically reloading on the weapon swap.
Otherwise, that would be such a cheap weapon.
Yeah. See, because there we go. It does like persist, like it does keep like this one, but if it's 0, when you switch, and you go back to it, it'll be reloaded.
What happens if it reaches 0 on both sides? That's okay, I believe you.
I think it takes a long time to get angry. So yeah, also like these lockers, for now we're just going to keep them fully stocked, so every player can have every weapon for testing purposes, but later again this thing will.
And of course, once the game's actually out, we'll run around with all the equipment, armor, whatever we want, and
or create like God mode where you can just equip every weapon and just be crazy.
It'd be like the Bungie team.
It's super good, it's just cheating. So any questions about this?
No, I think I'm good for now.
So let me just So yeah, the main thing is we're just going to keep working and have the playtest next week. I don't think the internet here would be good enough.
No.
So, I mean, we will have to think of if everyone just, like, how's the internet at your apartment?
It's the free Google Fiber.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay, but
Was it like 5 megs?
5 megs.
It's probably better than here.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay, so maybe next week we don't have a meeting, but everybody just stay home and play it, and then like have like a Skype call, and everyone can be on the Skype call together. Or if you have a TeamSpeak server, then you can do that.
Skype can work.
Yeah, I usually Skype with.
Actually, I don't think about that. Might be a phone number.
Yeah, let me give that to you. So for next week, I think it'll be me, you, I'm pretty sure Corey will be free next week. My brother said he'd be down to do it. He has a friend who said he'd be down to it. He's also interested in doing art for us. And then I think I have another buddy back home named Joey. I'll have to ask him if he'll be free Saturday. If not, we'll have to find a sixth man.
Okay.
To make the teams even. But I think that's it.
Alright, good. You have a good day.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
No problem.